Which is the best lens for long exposure photography? This is the very single question that I receive more often. And in this video, I'm going to answer it. Welcome to my channel. Here we talk about photography. And I make videos just like this one where I share tips that anybody can follow. So if you're here for the first time and you love photography like me, it might be a good idea to subscribe. If you have been following this channel for a while, you might know how much I love and enjoy taking long exposure photos. Long exposure photography helps me to create a sense of peace, a serene and simple mood, a surreal and ethereal state of mind that I just love. And it happens that when people stumble into my photos, either watching a video like this on YouTube or checking out my Instagram feed, they often want to know more about the process, but they always want to know about my gear. Which tripod do I use? Which filters do I use? Which camera do I use? But the single question that I get all the time is, which is your favorite lens to take long exposure photos? So let's address this question. But before that, just give me 1 second to mention that this is my 100th video upload on YouTube. I am loving this process. I loved the journey. I really appreciate the community that we have created on this channel. I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't be able to find the energy, find the commitment, find the time to make these videos if I didn't have your support and your feedbacks. So thank you for helping me in this process. But let's go back to the lens now. This is by far my favorite lens for long exposure photography. This is the lens that most of the time is mounted on my Nikon D810, just like now. I believe that with this lens I took at least 90% of my long exposure photos, if not more, including the photos behind me with the lady in red. This is the 𝗂𝗑𝗪 1.8 GED. I think I said it all. Why I like it so much? Of course, there are a few reasons. First of all, the view angle. With a view angle of 94 degrees on a full-frame camera like the D810, I believe that the 20mm lens is the perfect wide-angle lens. Not only for long exposure photography, but also for landscape photography. And we did talk about this in the past. You remember? If you didn't see this video, you can check it out right here. But as far as it concerns the long exposure photography part, in my opinion, a good image will need to emphasize whatever movement that the long exposure is trying to capture. And to do so, it is best to have in the frame also non-moving elements in order to create that dramatic contrast, which is what usually attracts people's eye. And in order to include in our frames all these different elements, most of the times, not all the times, we need a wide-angle lens. And the 20mm lens, in my opinion, is the perfect wide angle. It is not too wide, with the risk of creating a very unnatural look, but not too narrow either, just the perfect balance. Then, of course, because of its 77mm filter thread, you will be able to mount on this lens any kind of neutral density filter system, which, as you know, it's necessary. I also like the fact that this lens is fairly light. As you know, with long exposure photography, we are forced to carry with us a lot of gear. The filter system, the tripod. So it is great if we are able to save a little bit of weight. This lens is very sharp. And if it is true that this is a very important factor for any kind of photography, it is even more important in long exposure photography, as we are shooting through other elements, through different pieces of glass or sometimes plastic, the filters. And this could deteriorate the final quality of our photos. So if we use a lens that is not particularly sharp to start with, we might be in big troubles. Another reason why I love this lens is the fact that this is a prime lens. So it forces me to move around to search for the best compositions. I think it is easy to get lazy when using a zoom lens. You put your camera on the tripod and then you just rely on your zoom to close in a little more and slightly change your composition. While when using a prime lens, you need to move. And when you move, and this happened to me many times, you will see new compositions, different angles, better composition, things that I wouldn't have seen if I was just standing behind my tripod all the time. This lens is also very versatile, as it has a very open aperture. With a f1.8 maximum aperture, in fact, this lens could be awesome also for your astrophotography. So you can easily take beautiful long exposure photography at night, and when using aperture f1.8, there will be so much light coming in through the lens that you will not be forced to use very high ISO, so that there will be less noise in your photos. Although this is not my specialty by any means, I do enjoy, from time to time, taking pictures of the Milky Way. So let me know in the comments below if you're interested in seeing a video about night photography. We could arrange that. Lastly, to get this lens, you will not need to break the bank or sell your kidney. You can get this lens for about $700, which, given the quality and the versatility of this lens, I think is pretty fair. Now, please bear in mind a few things. Number one, you can take long exposure photography with any lens. Number two, you don't need this 20mm lens to start long exposure photography. Actually, I encourage you to start with whatever you have. Number three, this video is not sponsored by Nikon, or by anyone else for that matter, beside the continuous support of the Photo Tee collection. T-shirts inspired by photography, designed for photographers. You can get your Photo Tee today just by clicking right here or in the description below. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that no matter which lens you are going to use, you will try long exposure photography. Trust me on this, it is a fun process and also quite addictive. As we are done for today, now you can freely hit the like button, leave me a comment, share this video with your friends, and of course, if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.